Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster run Proving Grounds with Hunter. For my subclass, I'll be using Nightstalker with Gambler's Dodge. Here are the mods and fragments I'll be using in this video. For my kinetic, I'll be using the Stasis Pulse Rifle. Next, I'll be using Skyburners Oath with the Linear Fusion Bait and Switch. For my helmet, I'll be using Linear Fusion Ammo Finder, Pulse Rifle Targeting, Reaping Wellmaker. For the arms, I'll be using Anti-Barrier Pulse Rifle, Unstoppable Scout Rifle, High Energy Fire, and 10 Resilience. For my exotic, I'll be using 10 Resilience with double Solar and Void Resilience and Elemental Charge. For the legs, I'll be using Linear Fusion Rifle Scavenger, Powerful Friends, the Arc Modern Force to use to get Powerful Friends, and with 5 mobility. Lastly, I'll be using 10 Resilience, Solar Fulmination, and Artifact Mod to do DPS only on champions. Welcome to Proving Grounds, where anything can happen, such as getting one-shot by rocks. So, as you guys notice, I am going to be using Skyburners for this Nightfall. Mainly, there's going to be a couple of champions, which I will have to take down. And just please excuse me of the cabal flying in the air and me missing my precision shots from Unstoppable Champion. That is console aim assist, something that a lot of consoles will struggle in Proving Grounds. So once I take down the Unstoppable Champion, I'm going to grab Elemental Well and get the hell out of here. Because now I have to deal with more champions and turrets. Yes, a lot of turrets. So I am going to be spamming a lot of Skyburners since the weapon is very good for this Nightfall, plus a Q is solar, so it does 25% more damage, which is good for this Nightfall because it can also penetrate shields, especially the orange bubble. So I am taking my time clearing down all the cabals because I actually need to clear everything down so I can make the mini boss easier for me. So I am going to be waiting for all these cabals to spawn, and then we're going to introduce the most annoying barrier champion in this Nightfall. One of them. He's going to be hopping, and I am going to pray for RNG if this barrier champion is going to cooperate with me, because I don't have the adaptive new purpose pulse rifle. If I did, this would have been 10 times, maybe 20 times, 100 times easier to stagger the barrier champions from long distance. I am trying to stagger the barrier champion. It's running away from me, which is really bad. So I'm trying my best to do precision shots, get rid of the barrier champion. And now things will be easier for me for now, where I just clear down all these cabals from far ahead. Hopefully I can clear them down bit by bit. This is basically what Proving Grounds is. It's proving patience. Let's be honest. You have to be patient for this Nightfall. You have to clear down everything just to make the mini boss easier for this section. Or if you do want to rush, then all these ads are going to throw and spam grenades. So I am taking down all these turrets. There's one from the left, one from the right, and then far from the left side. Or I guess I'll call it the right side. So I did turn back because I wanted more ads to spawn. And it looked like they were following the Unstoppable Champion. Now I don't want to take down the champion yet. If you do take down the Unstoppable Champion, then you're gonna spawn that annoying mini boss that shoots and spams machine gun and missiles, which I don't want to deal with him yet. So I have to take down all these ads just to make it easier. And I just want to get this Nightfall done and over it. I was scouting, double checking, everything is good, and then I remember the turret from the far right side, where he will be right around that Pacific spot. So once I take down that turret, then I'm gonna go deal with Unstoppable Champion. Then I miss one where I miss one of the ads that was hiding. So I couldn't take down Unstoppable Champion until I take him down. Because I already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wind up dealing with the boss, and then he's gonna melee one-shot me and then send me off across the map. It always happens if I don't take down everything. Once I take down Unstoppable Champion, now I can clear down the last remaining of ads, and then introducing the mini boss. Yes, the one that spams missiles and hops around. So of course, another unstoppable champion, not surprise, but I will have to deal with him, do DPS as much as I can, and then abuse and take advantage of bait and switch. Yes, I am using the bait in switch with the linear fusion rifle. Reason why is, well, it just makes Proving Grounds 10 times easier. And it really helps out for the tank room, which you will see very soon. Now, people will argue and say, what other weapons can you use? Well, that's a really hard question. I'll talk about that later. Before I make this boss go to the bubble, I'm going to be dancing with this boss while shooting Skyburners. Yes, and by the way, he does like to jump and hop around, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, dance for your life. All I'm doing is dancing for my life, making him step back a two, and then just spamming the exotic sky rifle. Yep, that's basically what I'm doing. I mean, of course, someone could argue and say, why don't you just use bait and switch? Well, here's the thing, I only have one ammo. How could I use it? Plus, it's fun dancing with this boss. Once he pops the shield, I turn invisible, or I could use Solar Hunter. You know, I could just use Classy Mod and then just go back here as well. I'm gonna stagger the boss, well, the mini unstoppable champion, and make sure I cleared out all the cabals, all the ads. I try to avoid the grenades since they do melt. Even though I have double solar resilience, still they can send me back to orbit if I'm not careful. Sometimes there are bugs where you don't hear the sound effect, so you actually have to see the grenade icon of how close it is. It does happen, so I am trying to use bait and switch, but then I forgot I only have one ammo. Silly me. Make sure you use finisher, or you can just keep taking down the mini unstoppable champion and pray for heavy bricks, because you will need a lot for this nightfall since we are not using shoot to loot. I am going to take advantage of the exotic scout and take down the bubble shield. You can break the shield from long distance. It really helps a lot for warlocks, for titans. I'm using it for this video because, well, I got fed up with the boss. Mainly for the rocks, but as you guys notice, yes, I'm going to be dancing with the boss again. That's basically what I'm doing over here. So if you do want to avoid him from jumping, you have to make him go all the way back on that wall, on that hill up ahead, so he won't jump on you. He'll just take a step back and then a step forward. He's just gonna dance with you. Yep, dancing with the boss. It's just so fun. If only there was some dancing music in the background. Don't mind me, guys, I'm just dancing with the boss with Skyrunners. Or Skyburner. Once I take down this mini boss, I went to scout and see if there's any heavy bricks. Any heavy bricks for Blitz? Only 3? Not looking good. Okay, so since I'm low on heavy, which is bad for this Nightfall, hopefully if I clear down any of the ads, I'll get more heavy bricks. Even though linear fusion scavenger is bug, since the beginning of the season, you only get +1, right? Or nothing, right? Still have to pray for RNG and hopefully I'll get some heavy. Alright, so once we cleared out all the ads, now we're actually gonna go to the most boring, frustrating level everyone despises. This is basically the tank room. Everyone's best friend or everyone's worst enemy. It's either gonna go good or it's gonna go bad. All depends of what you do for this tank room. Everyone is different, so for me, I just take down the snipers first, then I go back to my little safe spot. Now people will argue and say, well, I go behind the wall, I go on this specific spot. Everyone is different. Everyone's playstyle, loadout, subclass is different. For me, I always just go on the top on the safe spot. Now there's gonna be these scions that are driving this vehicle and you must take down with the, well, any solar scout, but I would prefer this specific one. Now the good news for this season is they did nerf the health a little bit. Either that or the solar AQ burn is making it stronger to take down these pilots. Now you must take down all these pilots before going at the tank room. Now because I really don't feel like facing the mini boss, I am gonna do a little mini method, and it all depends of what kind of mini boss it is. Sometimes it's solar and sometimes it's arc. Yeah, there's gonna be these mini bosses where there's gonna be an arc cabal that shoots missiles, or it's gonna be a scion. As I said before, it's RNG, and that's why I don't like Proving Grounds. Nobody likes Proving Grounds. It's just random mini bosses every run. You know, sometimes I deal with a arc mini boss with scions or void or double solar. It's completely random. Now I got lucky in this footage because I only had to deal with the solar mini boss. And I don't really have to go turn invisible, use my super. I can actually save my super for other things. Now I could use my super, I could go down to the tank room, break the shield, use my super, and then jump up to avoid the barrier champions. Oh yeah, did I mention there are 2 barrier champions at the middle of the map, all the way from the back? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about that. So there are going to be barrier champions, 2 of them. And you have to do DPS from long range, or if you're really lucky, right? If you're super lucky, the bigger champion is gonna walk in front for a little bit and then there'll be your chance to do DPS. But then you really have to take him down, or they're gonna just go all the way from the back, from the far right, or go back to the middle of the map. So yeah, this is basically proving patience. So if you guys notice, I am just shooting the floor, shooting the foot of the mini boss, because I really don't want to bother myself just dealing with the boss, with the missiles that are gonna slow me down. It's just a lot of things. Anything could happen. Now, like I said, everyone's different, so I am gonna take down this pilot from long distance. And if you guys notice, the brightness of the tank room is super bright, and it has been like this ever since it was released. So when you don't aim with your weapon, it's hard to see the ads from far distance, especially if you have a small TV. Now, I don't have a small TV, but for people who do, this would be really hard to see of where the ads are. Also, the pilot can be a little frustrating. Now, I was trying to take down the pilot, but he was hiding. He just really likes, you know, strolling around from left slowly. Now, depending how many ads you take down, you will spawn the dogs, or you call them the warbies. Now, if you do use the exotic sky rifle, they are very easy to take down. I was just double checking if the dogs did spawn, but not yet. Gotta take down this pilot. He's just slowly moving from the left, then slowly moving from the right. This is proving patience. Hopefully he'll move from the left slowly. Slowly from the left side. Do I hear right side? Do I hear slowly from the right side? Yes, he is moving from the right side. Okay, finally we took him down. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna make a lot of jokes in this Nightfall, especially the rocks. Once we take down the slowest left and right annoying pilot, now we're gonna deal with barrier champions. The barrier champions are a bit complicated. It all depends on what kind of pulse rifle you have. If you have the new purpose pulse rifle, well, you know what? Good for you, because you're gonna have an easier time dealing with the barrier champions on Proving Grounds. Now, if you don't have it, well, you're gonna have a hard time dealing with the barrier champions like me, because I haven't got any of the new purpose pulse rifle ever since the new season. Right? I've been trying to. I even farm and I still can't get it. I have the worst luck of getting weapons. I was clearing down a couple of ads. I was just trying to double check, because these guys, I don't want them to throw grenades at me. I mean, look at that. One guy, one cabal tried to throw a grenade at me. I have to go and avoid it. And yes, that's the barrier champion. He's gonna shoot missiles and then back away from the middle. Now, I did saw this barrier champion was walking towards me and then was slowly backing away. I was trying to see if I can take him down very quickly, since this is my one chance to actually take down this barrier champion. So as you guys notice, it is completely luck of how the barrier champions are going to behave. I got lucky there, because sometimes the barrier champion doesn't do that. Sometimes it just stays in the middle or just hugs with the barrier champion. So if you do see the barrier champion separating from the other one, walking towards you and then backing away, quickly take him down before he goes back to his little boyfriend or his girlfriend or his master, you know. Once I take down two of the barrier champions, I'm going to take down these barrels, because now we're going to deal with the next phase. And it is the tank phase. You know, the two tanks where it's supposed to be something like arms dealer, except arms dealer is 10 times better and easier and safer than this method. Well, for this room. And I'll be really honest, I think the tank room is the worst layout. Like, I think the tank room is the worst design, because there's really nothing to breathe. You can't hide, you can't find a good spot. It's basically cat and mouse. You know, yes, you can go behind the walls, you know, but the tank can shoot and you can get one shot. Or two shot if you're lucky. And you can't really hug the wall. And then sometimes snipers get in the way. So it's just a lot of things going on. And you're probably thinking what I'm doing here. So if you go to the top of this platform, you will spawn ads. Now, I did this on purpose because, well, if you look over here, I don't have any heavy bricks. Now, to take down the tanks, you must have full heavy. And the only way I can think of getting heavy is to take down all these ads that do spawn. You know, for me, I made them spawn on purpose so I can get some heavy bricks. And I have to keep doing this over and over again until I get heavy bricks. Now, everyone is different. You know, people will argue and say, well, I don't need to do that. You know, a linear fusion rifle is enough for me. Alright, well, everyone's opinion, I guess. But for me, I would prefer full ammo and take advantage of bait and switch. Also, some plays don't even have bait and switch, so what weapons could they use? Well, this is a really, really hard decision. People will argue and say, what about Volpo weapon with Storm Chaser? I guess that could work, yes. Yeah, Storm Chaser could work. There is also another linear fusion solar that could work with high impact reserves, but I think the Arc Storm Chaser would work better, since you can do precision shots 3 times. Different options. I would recommend trying out Storm Chaser if you don't have bait and switch linear. So now the tank room. Yes, everyone's best friend or worst enemy. So I am going to take advantage of bait and switch. Yes, I am going to take advantage of it. If you guys notice console aim assist, you know I was supposed to do precision shots at the tank, but that cabal was in the way, and my character just decided to precision shot the cabal even though I didn't want to. But it's basically, you know, there's nothing I can do. That's aim assist. It always has been like this for years. You know, it's something that I always struggle on solo GM, especially Proving Grounds. Proving Grounds is one of the Nightfalls where I struggle from the aim assist, as well as Corrupted as well. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing here is I'm gonna wait for my dodge. So I took down one tank very quickly. I don't want to clear down all the ads, because if I take my time clearing out all the ads and the dogs will spawn, then they're gonna get in the way when I'm trying to do precision shots to the tank. As I said before, everyone is different. Alright, now you could argue and say, what about you wait for your super? Yes, I could wait for my super and then make this easier. I was just losing patience, even though it's a patient grounds, you know, proving grounds, right? But I didn't want to wait for my super, so I just want to get it done and over it. So if you guys notice, I did look at the map just to see where the ads are, and it looks like I'm gonna bait the boss and then probably go back up. I was baiting the tank to shoot from the opposite direction. I thought it would be a good idea to bait him. That way I can go to the same spot that I took down the first tank. Everyone is different. You know, like people will argue and say, what if I use Anarchy? Well, I haven't tested out, but if you do have shoot to loot with Anarchy, I guess that could work, you know? But anyway, I'm gonna go take advantage of the power and visibility. Even though classy mod would probably make it easier. So bait and switch. Hopefully I can take down this tank. So I did as much ammo as I can, and then I reload, try to see where the boss is, well, what a tank is. And then this cabal, you know, appeared out of nowhere. almost one-shotted me. Thank the Bungie that I had 9-tier resilience. You know, would have got one-shot if I didn't have the high-tier resilience. That was unexpected. I did not expect that Pacific ad to try to one-shot me. I got extremely lucky. Once I take down the last tank, now things are going to be so much easier because all the ads are going to give up, go all the way from the back. I always take down these snipers first. Yes, there's going to be these elite honored scion snipers, or I'm just going to call them scions just to make it easier for me and for everyone. So the snipers, or the snippers, right? We're going to take them down first. Once you take them down, now you can run around the map and nothing can shoot you from the spot where you're standing. Now for me, everyone is different because I don't have the strong new purpose pulse rifle. I can't take down the barrier champions from far distance because the pulse rifle I have is not that strong from long range. It's a good pulse rifle, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not strong enough for proving grounds, for barrier champions when they're far away. I know that based on experience because I did test out with a different pulse rifle that was energy, and this pulse rifle that I have, it's not the best, but I made it work, you know. So dogs will spawn war beasts. There's around 6 of them. I usually count when I take down all these ads, so I won't get one shot, well, 2 shot by them. So if you are wondering, yes, there's gonna be RNG with the mini bosses as well. Usually that guy could be solar or arc. See, this is why I don't like the tank room. It has the worst layout compared to arms dealer. And the only thing I can think of what they could have done better for this Nightfall is make the room bigger. I think they should have made the room bigger. It's just nowhere to breathe. You know, poor new players, they're gonna have a hard time for this Nightfall. I mean, can you imagine their first time doing a GM or a master? They're gonna get one shot by the tank, and it's just really, it can be really frustrating. And still to this day, I sometimes have trouble with Proving Grounds. Even though Proving Grounds has been out for a year, maybe more, I don't remember. So as you guys notice, yes, because my pulse rifle is so weak, you know, the range is so bad. Not bad, but it's not good enough. I have to go on the top of the platform and then take down the barrier champions. But Blitz, the cabals will spawn behind you and one-shot you. They don't. Once you take down the tanks, both of them, on the second phase of the tank room, the shielded cabals won't spawn behind you. I tested out for a year and they never spawn. So it is safe to go on this platform to deal with the barrier champions if you have a bad pulse rifle. Now if you have a really good pulse rifle, you can shoot them from far distance, but I have a bad one, so I had to be on this top platform. But Blitz, the cabals could spawn behind you. They don't. They don't at the second phase at all. I have tested out so many times on my Warlock, on my Titan, Hunter, Master Run, everything. They don't spawn behind you at the last phase. So once I deal with the barrier champions, guess what? You know what's the best part? We get to go deal with the rocks. One shot at the rocks. Yay, Blitz! Isn't it fun? We get to go and hang out. Falling rocks. I hate this Nightfall so much. Alright, so now I'm gonna turn invisible just to get away from this scions And now let me introduce you section where everyone's solo flawless will be ruined. So have you guys ever got one shot by rocks? Joke's on you, Blitz, I never got one shot. Well, guess what? You will eventually get one shot by the rocks. So this is the room where I despise because, well, anything can happen. Completely RNG, and it's not the champions or the cabals, it's the rocks. So be aware of the rocks and make sure you take down Unstoppable Champion, or at least tag it, because sometimes the rocks will push off the mini boss and the champion. Now you're probably wondering why I'm not coming out of the room. Well, usually there's a rock that falls down, and I'm waiting for that specific rock to fall down. See, that rock right there. Hello, Unstoppable Overload Rock. So once that specific rock falls, or any rock, you know, it's RNG, then it'll be safe to come out for a while. For a while, I didn't say 100% guarantee, you know, but I wanted to deal with Unstoppable Champion. I don't trust anything, you know, I don't trust the rocks. I don't trust nothing in this room. I despise this room with all my might. All the traveler. So once I take down Unstoppable Champion, now I have to be super cautious because, well, you know, I got killed one shot by rock 10 times. I don't want to go back to orbit just for a rock. You know, they might as well be champions. The rocks might as well be champions. You know? So I'm going to take down these snipers. OMG. So the rocks one-shot me, but they don't one-shot Cabal. Okay, I see how it is. This is absolutely ridiculous. Are you telling me these rocks are friends with them? Thus they push guardians off the map, but they don't do it to them. Alright, so I'm gonna be looking from the right side, you know, making sure no rocks will one-shot me. But Blitz, just hear the sound clink. Yeah, I tried it and it's RNG. It doesn't really work. Alright? What works for me is just waiting for the rocks to pass by and then I quickly go. Now you're probably wondering over here. Yes, I'm going to be using my super and hugging this wall because this wall from the right side is the only wall that will save me from the rocks. Alright, if I move forward from that open spot, then I will get one shot by the rocks. Happened to me many times, so hugging this wall really helps me. Maybe for players, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't died by a rock from this specific spot yet. Probably wonder what I'm doing here. I'm trying to see if any rocks will pass by before I go into the room. Reason why is, well, if I don't see where I'm going, then I'm gonna get one shot by a rock. It's like when you're trying to cross roads, you're trying to look at the left and the right if cars are coming by, and you have to make sure you look both ways or you will get hit. Alright, that's basically this Nightfall. You gotta look from the left or the right, or the rocks will one-shot you and send you back to orbit. There is a barrier champion. You must take down a barrier champion right away because this barrier champion is a machine gun. Remember the machine gun? Yes, the one from inside Terminus? Yes, that one. Make sure you take him down. Once you do, everything is safe for now. Until we have to pick up the orb charge. You know, I wish I could, you know, do the glitch from, you know, Pit of Hersey, you know, where we hold triangle, the whole triangle method. Remember when we had to do the mini cheese of dunking the orbs for the ogre room? Well, I wish I could do that for Proving Grounds, you know, that glitch. Well, time to go back to the Death Rocks zone. So, gonna look slowly from the left side. Any of the rocks. These rocks are trolling me. I am terrified of my life right now. Who cares about the boss? I care about these champion rocks. Unstoppable Overload Barrier champions. I'm gonna pick it up and get the hell out of here. Even this rock is trolling me. I see you, Blitz. I'm gonna get you, Blitz. By the way, make sure you melee. I didn't melee, but you know, I was a little nervous because seriously, 10 times. I got killed by rocks 10 times. If you got killed by 10 rocks, you would be nervous as well. Once I activate the switch with the arc orb or the orb charge, now we're going to be dealing with another barrier champion. Now this barrier champion is very less stressful because he is a arc, not a machine gun. Now if he was a machine gun, that would be completely unfair and I wouldn't like it because it would be a nightmare to do DPS from this specific distance. Oh yeah, and did I mention about that mini boss? Yeah, it's RNG. Remember RNG, the tank room? Well, I got RNG dealing with this area where it's either going to be a solar cabal that shoots void, or it's going to be a scion that likes to play hide and seek. I got the worst luck in this video, so I had to deal with the scion. And it was horrible. I didn't like it at all. Why do I get bad luck in this Nightfall? So as you guys notice, I am clearing out ads as much as I can. At the same time, I need to take down this barrier champion, so I was trying to find a good spot to do DPS because let's be honest, this barrier champion is complicated. You know, you really have to take him down. Once I do, of course, rocks are floating in the air. Too bad they won't one-shot, you know, the champions or cabals. I wish they could, but nope, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. But they will on Guardians. They will ruin Guardians' lives, but not enemies. Not the cabals, not the champions, mini-boss, nothing. So I am shooting down the turrets. All the turrets left, right, in middle. And now I have to deal with the scion. Yes, the scion. And yes, that's a rock just slowly, you know, falling towards me. It's just giving me a warning, you know, saying, be careful, Blitz. I could send you back to orbit. Okay, so I thought maybe if I go back and turn, maybe the scion will come out of hiding. It didn't work at first, but it didn't later on. I was sad because I really don't want to go and risk my life of trying to take down a scion from the rock zone, right? So because this method didn't work and he kept hiding and hiding again and again, I had to go and risk my life. And I had to hide behind a Pacific wall. Now people can argue and say, why don't you go on top? Well, there's a sniper and you have a more higher chance of getting one shot by the rocks. I mean, if you want to go on top, well, I wish you the best of luck because if you try to go up there, it is a possibility that a rock can one-shot you. So that's why I prefer to go to stand behind this wall because the rocks can't get me. So once I take down the scion, you know, hopefully he'll stop playing trials. I almost got one-shot by a rock at the same time. I'm gonna take down the scion and try my best to take down the cabals that can chase you. Now these guys are extremely dangerous. They usually can ruin everyone's run. So I always take them down and then I try to stand on this specific spot. Until all of them are clear out, it's not safe to stand there because there is a barrier champion, a machine gun that can melt you, just like inside Terminus. And yes, they do throw grenades as well, so I have to be very cautious with that. So there was more remaining ads up ahead, so I do need to take them down before I deal with the barrier champion. So if you guys notice, I almost got one shot by the rocks, well, by the grenades. So you must be very careful with these guys because they can throw grenades and spam a lot. I almost died over there, but I got extremely lucky. Mainly because I had double solar resilience and 9 tier resilience. Even though I could have 100, make it more better, but you know, my hunter build isn't the strongest. I don't have the strongest build, you know, because resilience is a thing for this season, so I actually had to dismantle the god rolls I had for recovery, mobility, and strength. And my hunter is all messed up, let's be honest. It is extremely messed up. And my warlock. Now my titan, I'll be honest with you, my titan is okay. She's good, you know, but my warlock and my hunter, it's not looking good for this season with the builds. I do need to farm up some good stats. Okay, so you're probably wondering what I'm doing here. I felt like there was one more ad. So I was just trying to bait it to come out. And it is the champion. I don't think I took down a champion yet. That's why I didn't get close to that Pacific area, because I need to take down the bigger champion. You know, he is the machine gun, remember that? The one can one-shot, well, melt you, two-shot you. So once I cleared out all the ads, now we get to go back to the rock zone. You know the Unstoppable Overload Barrier Rocks. Yeah, we're gonna deal with that again. So carefully, I'm gonna look from the right side. Make sure nothing bad will happen to me. Of course, there is a sniper on top, which I will ignore. So if you guys notice, yes, I am being very careful, very cautious. You know, making sure I don't get one shot by the rocks, because it always happens to me every time I rush. So now everything looks okay. There's a lot of rocks falling by. More rocks falling by, and then I grab the orb and I get the hell out of here. I was hiding because I know there's a sniper. You gotta look from the left side. And of course, turn invisible. If I had classy mod, I would use that. So I decided to wait because I saw rocks that were passing by. Oh, hell no. Right? I do not want to get one shot by the rocks again. So finally, I passed the death zone of rocks. Now we could actually deal with the last remaining ads. So it's gonna be, for now, by the way, for now, the last 2 champions until the boss fight. Yes, I know there's gonna be champions at the boss fight. This is the last for now. And it's the machine gun barrier and unstoppable champion. And yes, there will be dogs that will try their best to one-shot you, well, two-shot you. Now I do recommend you use your super. I didn't use my super because I want to focus on using it on the barrier champion, because my pulse rifle is not good for long range. It's not good enough. So the only way I can make it easier for my hunter and for this run is to use my super when I stagger the barrier champion. Now, the only way I can stagger the barrier champion is if I can take down that champion unstoppable up ahead, but he's not cooperating with me. So I was a bit annoyed because I really want to take down this barrier champion, but the unstoppable is not... he's hiding from me, so I have to see if I can take down this barrier champion quickly then, because he's not coming out. So once I take down the barrier champion, I can take down the last, for now, barrier champion. So if you guys notice, yes, there's going to be 2 remaining ads. I would be careful from the right one than the left. The left one's very harmless. The right one can be complicated because he shoots arc, and I don't have any arc resilience. Yay, isn't it fun? So finally, I get to go to the boss fight. Yep, finally to the boss fight. You know, the boss fight where anything can happen with the fireballs and unstoppable champions teleporting and the boss. It's gonna be a fun nightfall. So as you guys notice, yes, we're gonna go to the boss fight and you're gonna get your super once you activate the switch. Yay, finally at the boss fight. I'm so excited. Alright, so we're gonna be beginning the rite of proving or patience. And here is Kaitel's chosen, where he's gonna throw, or she, fireball or fireball no jutsu, which I will turn invisible and get the hell out of here. I want the boss to focus on something else, that's why I turn invisible, so he's not gonna shoot void at me. I'm waiting for the set of ads to spawn, and mainly they're all gonna be cabals or the ones with the shields. Yes, I am going to be using my super to deal with them because, well, I can't really take my time with it. As you guys noticed, the boss randomly was walking around, he noticed my attack. So I had to quickly take down the ads since they do melt if I'm not careful. And to make sure I clear them out so I could do DPS at the boss. And yes, there will be time skips of me doing DPS at the boss because it's so slow. Extremely suffering. And yes, I know when you can do precision shots on top of the middle of the crown of the boss, which I was trying to do, but I don't really trust this boss because, well, if he sees you, he's gonna turn around and shoot void and it 2-shots you. Now, back in the old Proving Grounds, it used to 1-shot you or barely 2-shot you. So if you guys notice, I am trying to bait this boss to shoot something else because his void attacks are sometimes unpredictable. There are times where I was careless during my old runs, not for this season, but during my old runs I was very careless and then I just easily get annihilated by the void blast. Especially the splash damage does massive damage for some reason, even though it's solar AQ. Doesn't really make any sense, or maybe the void blast has a mix of solar element to it. Not entirely sure, but it melts and it's dangerous, so try your best to avoid the void blast as possible. So I'm gonna do as much DPS as I can, 1 bar. I will move the boss to a specific spot so I can deal with the unstoppable champions when they do spawn. So I am gonna do a time skip, so I will save everyone's time and suffering since I'm mainly gonna be just, once I do amount of damage and wasting 3 minutes of my life, he's going to start doing this very annoying attack. Yes, that Pacific annoying attack where he is going to fly in the air, harvesting power. You know, we got power, and he's going to be spamming fireball no jutsus at me. How many times does he do this? Well, let me think about it. I would say maybe 16 times on every phase. But you know what? I'm gonna be a good person and be so nice that I'm gonna time skip this horrendous fireball no jutsu that Sasuke tried to teach him, but it didn't work out. So time skip for this. So I'm gonna wait until he uses all the limited amount of chakra, so I can resume the DPS. Once he wasted all his fireball no jutsu with the unlimited amount of chakra, now I can actually do some DPS at the boss. So we're back to square one. Remember, precision shots on the crown? Yep, this is basically what I'm doing. And I know this looks hilarious, but I did the biggest mistake of my life. Why did I do that? So what I should have done over there is just wait and then just keep doing precision shots. Why did I go and jump? Now he's gonna shoot void. Now I have to go to a different awkward spot just to do precision shots, and hopefully this boss won't see me because he's gonna wind up shooting void blast at this direction. So always remember, when doing DPS the boss, make sure the boss is shooting in a different direction. That way the void blast won't shoot on your face. You can do precision shots at the boss on the middle of the crown. Now, the reason why I was jumping was I was trying to see the health of the boss because it's extremely tanky. That's all I wanted to do, but because of that mistake, he winds up seeing me, and then I had to go to a different spot to do DPS. Or in other words, to do damage to the boss. But as you guys notice, you have to be very aware of his void blast because it is, like I said, unpredictable. So as I said before, I will do a time skip, so I'm gonna do as much damage as I can until it goes to first bar and then stop. Now I sadly have to make this boss move. Now people can argue and say, okay, there's Unstoppable behind me, why don't I just do DPS on that champion? Well, here's the thing, I can never do enough DPS on Unstoppable champion on that direction. I don't know why I have the worst luck on that spot compared to the other side, the right side. The left spot for me is the most dangerous for me to stand. I don't know why, everyone is different. I prefer the right spot, the right area, or left spot from this perspective. So I am making this boss move so I can actually go to my safe zone. So the spot I'm standing right now is the one where I don't like, but I want the boss to shoot over here so I can go to the safe spot. For me, everyone is different. And I want him to shoot on the left side instead of the right. So if you guys notice, one bar down, so if you do a little bit amount of damage, he will pop a shield. He's gonna shoot fireball or chakra of fireball no jutsu, spamming it by the way, which is unfair because it can actually one-shot you. But blitz the glaive, no, we're not talking about glaives, I'm talking about the loadouts I'm using. Right, they one-shot you no matter what for this loadout. So as you guys notice, yes, I am going to try to use bait and switch. I'm trying guys. It's nerve-wracking. There's fireballs following me, even turning invisible. They can just randomly get me. So because I did enough damage with the bait and switch, I can actually take down one of the unstoppable champions, which is good enough for me. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck is going on, Blitz? Why are you not burning to fire? Well, this bridge fire, actually the middle is the safest where it doesn't hurt you. Now I did jump off because, well, the unstoppable champion was, I didn't want it to annihilate me. And I wanted to go back to the fire bridge to deal with the champion again because I wasn't ready to do DPS at the boss or the mini champion. I was caught off by a surprise because I thought he'll be in a different direction, but I was wrong. And you're probably thinking, why am I going left and right? Well, I'm trying to see where the unstoppable champion is. It's really hard to hear the steps of the champion because we got the boss spamming chakra at me, alright? Spamming a lot of fireball no jutsu. So how am I supposed to hear the sounds of the unstoppable champion nearby? It's extremely difficult when the boss is shooting fireballs 16 times, 10 times, you know, and it is absolutely horrific, scary, alright? So as you guys noticed before, I'm going to be at the middle of the bridge. And for me, it just seems the safest. Now, if I was using Solar Hunter, I would just spam Classy Mod right now if I see the unstoppable champion. So yes, I am looking left and right. And finally the boss got fed up of using that annoying fire that can track me. So yeah, the bridge from where I'm standing is the safest. As I said before, it has to be in the middle of where this bridge is. Now, I did jump off because, well, unstoppable champion, I don't know if he bugged out or I wasn't fast enough to see where he was, but he caught me off guard again, so I had to hop off. Now, like I said, if I was using Classy Mod, I would stay in that fire bridge and then just do DPS and not really worry too much of my health going down, since I'll have restoration all the time. But since I don't have that, I am using Nightstalker subclass to deal with the unstoppable champions. Everything seems to be alright. You know, I'm very happy that I cleared out all the champions. Now, because we are using Skyburners, right? We can actually just deal with the bubble. And this special exotic can do DPS and take down the bubble shield, well, the orange bubble shield, which really helps a lot. And this is probably the best thing about using this weapon, especially on Titan, especially on Warlock. So once I do break the bubble, more waves of ads. Yes, I am using my super to clear down all the ads. Now, I could use it for the boss, but I just don't think it's worth it. There's just too many things going on. Oh yeah, did I mention the boss likes to keep spamming fireball no jutsu? Yes, so he's gonna be spamming that a lot. And that's why I try my best to clear down all the ads as much as I can, because they will walk up to the fire bridge and they will try their best to throw a grenade or shoot arc. So now I am just waiting for the boss to get fed up of shooting fireballs at me. Okay, so I turn invisible just to see what's going on. You know I didn't clear out all the ads, but they didn't seem to be aggressive to try to take me down on the fire bridge. So once the boss gets fed up with the fireballs, right? You know, the ability to track you from the one-shot fire. Now we can actually make sure we clear down all the ads. Yes, all of them, by the way. Don't leave any of them alive. I wouldn't recommend leaving them alive. Try your best to take all of them down. And now we get to do DPS at the boss. And how much do you ask? Well, another bar. You have to do 1 bar of the health of the boss. Yes, I'm not even joking. Now, the spot he is standing is okay. You know, good enough for me as long as I can see the health and I can do precision shots at the middle from the crown of the boss. I'm good. Good enough for me. And yes, I could use my linear, but as I said, I don't have the god roll where I can get some ammo back, so I would prefer to save it for the Unstoppable champion. So I'm just gonna be slowly doing DPS at the boss for 3 minutes. Yep, 3 minutes. Just gonna keep shooting the boss. This is very fun. Happiest guardian ever, so I'm gonna be nice and do another time skip until we get to the part where we're gonna deal with more champions. So after 3 minutes of my life just spamming the exotic sky rifle, Skyburners, right? I'm gonna go pull back and deal with unstoppable champions, and this is probably the best time to abuse and take advantage of bait and switch for the linear fusion rifle. So that's mainly what I did in this video, and you're probably wondering what the heck just happened. Well, I was trying to switch to my heavy, but my controller didn't respond fast, so my bad for that. Let's try again. Alright, so I was trying to switch to another weapon, but it didn't work. So I'm gonna try to do bait and switch again. And yeah, my controller is messed up. Well, looks like I gotta buy a new controller. It's not, my triangle is not working well. Great. Perfect. Thanks, Proving Grounds, for breaking my triangle PS5 controller. You know how much it costs controllers these days? Let's see, $60 to $70. Well, I would say 70 or more if you want warranty for the controller. So I actually had to spend 80 bucks. So much money for a tiny controller. I'm actually having more issues on the PS5 controller than the PS4. Now, I am gonna be waiting for a bit of the fireballs to disappear. So he'll be spamming around 10-16 times, so I don't do a mini time skip. So once he stopped spamming all the chakra of amount of fireball and the jutsu at me, I am going to break the shield. I was planning to wait for my super to clear down the ads, but I changed my mind, so I decided to just get this run done and over it. And this is when the boss will start hopping around and all these ads will go around the map, and you must take all the ads down before dealing with the boss. Now, if you guys notice, yes, the boss will spam fireballs at you, so you have to make sure he doesn't hit you. Not only that, you have to make sure he doesn't spam his void blast on you. So 2 things you have to worry about. Oh, and a third thing, you also need to clear down the ads because they can throw grenades or melee you. So I decided to just spam my linear. Yes, I know I should save for the boss, but it's just not worth it because sometimes these fireballs can one-shot me, or even if I turn invisible, they can still get me. And I have moments where I'm just crossing the bridge and then one-shot from the fireball. So now we cleared out all the ads, yay, Blitz. So, okay, maybe I missed one. Okay, finally, you know, once I deal with that specific cabal that's trying to throw a grenade at me, then we get to deal with the boss. Now, many will question is what is the easiest way to deal with the boss for Nightstalker? And probably Solar Classy Mod. Now, during the old season, when I did this on Grandmaster and of course Master Proving Grounds, what I usually do is just, you know, just go back and forth from the bridge to do DPS the boss. That was my old method. I don't do that anymore in this season. The reason why is, well, the boss is unpredictable. If you guys notice, trying to go left and right across the bridge can make the boss go to a different or the opposite direction, or the boss can go to the same direction where you're crossing the bridge, and then he deals DPS with, and then he shoots void blast at you. Because he does that horrendous, unfair, buggy method, the only way I can think of making this boss somewhat easier is just pull back and then do DPS. And then you know what's the funniest part for this? I actually missed one ad. Did you see the cabal that was shooting me? Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't even see him. Can you see him? I can't see him right now. But I am missing one ad. He just appeared out of nowhere. I mean, did you guys previously saw the cabal? Because I didn't see him. And if you didn't see him, well, that's why I don't like Proving Grounds. It's buggy. So much bugs that sometimes you think you clear all the ads, but no, you always will miss one. And it is something that really bothers me a lot. And now we can actually deal with the boss. Finally, after I didn't notice I missed one little ad, tiny little ad that could have ruined my run. Now, worst case scenario, it could have one-shot me with the melee if I wasn't paying attention. So I did notice the Solar shooting at me, and I knew it wasn't the boss because he shoots void. That's why I immediately turn invisible, pull back, didn't do DPS at the boss, and then just look at my surroundings again, check what's going on. So yeah, I am trying my best to use bait and switch, and then the boss turn. And now you're probably wondering, well, but let's just keep using it. Well, I was using in the beginning, but then I got nervous because I was thinking, right, I really don't want to start all over again. I mean, think about it. You get killed by the rocks. One shot by the rocks 10 times. 10 times. I mean, would you really want to start all over? Of trying to go for a faster run, and then you get killed by the rock again. So I didn't want to do it. So I decided to just take my time over here. And I was gonna spam bait and switch, but then I changed my mind because I just want to get this run done and over it. I don't want to start all over again to deal with the rocks. Trust me, you're not gonna want to start all over again, especially if you died from the one-shot rocks 10 times. It happened to me, by the way. If you don't believe me, well, just go on my Twitter. I posted a clip of me getting one shot by a rock while I was jumping, grabbing the orb, saying, okay, finally to the boss fight, and then I die. I know it sounds funny, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm not over exaggerating. It is the truth. So now you're probably thinking what I'm doing here. Okay, well, I'm trying to bait the boss to go from far distance so I can actually do some DPS. So I was trying to see if I can do precision shots, but then he hops and then he's gonna follow me. And yes, I know going to the bridge, across the bridge from the left and right, people would prefer that method. Me, no, not really. I don't really like that method. It's just too much unpredictable moments where the boss can just shoot void. And the void can two-shot you, so I just prefer to run all the way from the back like I'm doing right now. Wait for the boss to shoot me. Sometimes he just gets so distracted, right? That I am going to try my best to shoot him or do precision shots to deal with this boss. So as you guys noticed, he stopped. I was like, wow, this is a perfect time to do tether, right? And then I just turn invisible, pull back because the boss was about to shoot void at me and I did not like it. So I was trying once again, bait and switch. Well, I tried, but the boss spot me. He did a twirl turn and hop a front to try to use his void blast at me. So once again, I try to do as much DPS as I can, and now I ran out of linear. So yeah, I could have used more bait and switch, but it was really nerve-wracking because if you guys notice, you're doing DPS, you're doing bait and switch, and then the boss all of a sudden turns. You really have to know when he's gonna turn because he can two-shot you with the void blast, and then guess what? Back to the tank room, back of RNG rocks that could one-shot you if you rush, or you have to be lucky, and I didn't want to deal with that again, and it's just a lot of work, not worth it. And this is why I don't like Proving Grounds. It's too much RNG, too much unpredictable bug unstoppable champions, bug boss. Oh yeah, did I mention the boss sometimes teleports? Yes. So luckily in this video he didn't teleport, but he does. Especially when he's chasing you, he starts teleporting, and then that's when he could stomp you. But he didn't in this video, so I was extremely lucky. So make sure you just keep going back in the map. Hopefully he will stop and shoot at something else so you can do some precision shots at the boss while he is distracted. I was looking where he is, you know, I want to make sure I get a good nice angle to do DPS. Well, it wasn't working out too well, so I decided to just go turn invisible and then pull back and then just see where he is going to be standing. So it looks like he's distracted, so I'm definitely going to shoot some ammo, and then he's gonna hop around once again. Yeah, this boss is way too tanky. That's the one thing I don't like about this boss. But I mean, if you guys thought Kargan was tanky, well, you haven't played Proving Grounds because he is 5 times more tankier than Kargan. Kargan's tanky, but this guy is way more tankier. And this guy is smart. I know Kargan is not a smart boss. This guy is extremely smart. Okay, he can actually shoot void blast from far distance if you're not careful, where Kargan's solar blast isn't really dangerous, or his void blast is so easy to dodge, where this boss, his void blast is sometimes hard to dodge. So finally we took down the boss and we got platinum. Yay! So this is probably my most hated Nightfalls. I hate this Nightfall with all my passion and I am exhausted. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!